Well, hey there, fight fans, and welcome to another edition of the Speed Bag. Today, a segment I like to call We Need to Talk About This. Now, recently, UFC light heavyweight champion Jon Jones had the misfortune to have a TMZ camera pointed in his face while he was asked what he thought about the sexual assault allegations leveled against Bill Cosby. Now, in fairness to Jones, it seemed like he hadn't really been keeping up with the story, which, combined with the fact that he seemed to be at the airport, was maybe an indicator that he probably just sort of stayed away from it altogether. But once he did get started talking about it, Jones said that, for one thing, he didn't believe these allegations, which, by the way, have been leveled by many, many women, because, for one thing, Bill Cosby seemed too classy to him. Also, he noted that it seemed like Bill Cosby was too popular, that he didn't have to sexually assault anybody. Now, you know how the story's going to go from here. It's going to be UFC light heavyweight champ says a bunch of dumb stuff about rape and Bill Cosby. And, fair. He's going to deserve some of that heat. But in a way, I'm kind of glad that he brought it up this way, because you know that Jon Jones isn't the only person who thinks this stuff. He's just a famous person who happened to say it on camera. And I'm glad he happened to say it on camera because he's very wrong about it, and it gives us an opportunity to address it. I mean, for one thing, this idea that Bill Cosby is too classy to do something like that. It's like, just because you see him on TV and because you grew up watching him, he couldn't possibly be somebody who would do a horrible, horrible thing like this. And, that's not at all true. You can't look at somebody on TV or somebody on a stage and tell what they would or wouldn't do. But more importantly, this idea that Bill Cosby doesn't have to do that. I mean, that's a really destructive rape myth in our culture because, for one thing, it perpetuates the idea that rape is even about sex, or that it's something that just creepy dudes in strange vans do to strangers out on the street, which is not really how it happens most of the time. That is a destructive rape myth because it keeps victims from coming forward, when they're assaulted by an acquaintance or a friend. It also keeps them from being believed when they do come forward. And that's a problem for any society that is actually interested in doing something about this very serious problem. And so while Jon Jones is pretty much exactly wrong on the issue, I'm glad that he brought it up and gave us an opportunity here to discuss it, because honestly, Bill Cosby or not, Jon Jones or not, just as a culture, we need to talk about this.